like to call this meeting to order. Roll call, please.
Mr. Ballard.
Here.
Ms. Nazario.
Here.
Mrs. Johnson. Mr. Sturgill here. Mr. Williams.
Here.
Pledge. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Recognition of visitors. We have our ADC members here with us as normal anymore, but do we have anything from the public? Anything from the public?
Hello, Barbie Washington, Riverside Drive. I would just like to announce that the citizens of Lorain is hosting a Levy Issue 13 rally on November 2nd, that's Saturday, from 9 until noonish, and we're asking for volunteers to canvass with us. If you're interested, please contact Mr. Ballard or Miss Bambi Dillon, and they'll have more information. And then I would like to ask our ADC members if there's any word on any updates.
Well, I was just going to say to you that we've all been in contact with our legal representation, Anthony Ferris, not quite daily, but quite a bit. And he's telling us that things are still in progress. I think Steve has talked to him most recently, even this afternoon, and might have something to say.
Actually, I just got off the phone with him a little bit ago, and before I came here, I went and typed something out so my thoughts were concise. So if they sound crazy, I had surgery, so I might be on some... No, I'm
That
just
was
kidding.
3 weeks ago.
And Patty is correct. We have been in conversation, but I did get off the phone with him about an hour ago or so. And as we sit here today, on October 28th, negotiations are ongoing for the transitioning out of the CEO. No agreement has been reached as of this afternoon, as there are a few items that are being ironed out. A counterproposal came back today, and the Attorney General's office will be forwarding a response dealing with certain components of the framework to the ODE tomorrow in hopes of getting a deal done as soon as possible. Let me be very clear. Even as the conclusion to this is being negotiated, the CEO will not be here in Lorain City Schools for next school year. I encourage the community to back Issue 13 and support Lorain City Schools with the renewal levy. We all understand that change is coming and that change is inevitable. However, it has been frustrating at the pace of action, not only what we've seen legally, but I will also even throw in the Senate, who had made promises to fix this upon their return from summer recess. Unfortunately, we are still waiting for the Senate to act. So there's a level of frustration that I think we're all feeling, and I know the members of the ADC, as we talked to one another consistently, we're very frustrated. I will point out, and I think at least locally, Governor DeWine did an interview in the Vindicator yesterday, October 27th, where he made a few points that I want to bring up and make public here in Lorain. He is not a supporter of House Bill 70 that took away local control. I don't like the situation we're in. I understand that. I made it clear to the legislature we need to move away from what is being done currently, but we also can't leave these kids with no additional help because there are some historic problems we have to deal with in regards to we can't walk away from them. Also, the governor does not agree with the elimination of elected board and that he believes in local control. But a comprehensive bill that includes financial assistance from the state needs to be approved by the legislature before House Bill 70 is gone. He continued, so I'd like to see much earlier in the process where there are flags going up and there's a problem that the state needs to come in based on what the community asks for. So, as I've said numerous times before, my recommendation would be for the state to fix the state report card, properly fund public education before we try to embark on something as insane as what we have seen here with House Bill 70. And we cannot waste any more time in fixing Ohio schools, and the sooner that we begin to do this, the better. So I guess to answer your question, no news, we're still frustrated, and there's a legal process playing out. Any further questions?
I do. On the note that you just read, you said that there was a counter proposal sent back today?
Yes, at 11:15 sometime this morning, yes.
From who to whom?
The CEO to the Attorney General's office.
Got it.
So there will be a proposal going back tomorrow morning from what Mr. Ferris had indicated.
Right, but I think what takes so long is it's not just attorney to attorney. There's a whole slew
Sure.
of bureaucracy that has to look and talk, and I mean, I think you know that, so it's not like it's a day or an hour. I mean, it could be another week.
Sure.
And I can say that Anthony Ferris is frustrated, because he wants to get this done just as much as we do, it seems. And the thing is, he has to go talk to the ADC members, he has to talk to Paolo, he has to talk to the ODE, and then go back and forth. So, yeah.
Lastly, I would like to thank you for your endorsement of Levy 13. And then on behalf of Mary Miller, who's working today and can't be here, her child's report cards have been issued, and they are incorrect again this year.
Thank you for that. Anything else from the public, please? Seeing none, hearing none. Need a motion to approve the minutes from our October 14th meeting?
So moved.
Second?
Any discussion? Roll call?
Mr. Williams,
Yes.
Ms. Nazario,
Yes.
Mr. Ballard,
Yes.
Mr. Sturgill, yes. Do I gotta do, I don't have to do Mrs. Johnson, she's not here.
No, sir.
Okay.
Moving down to old business. Is there anything in old business that needs to be covered? Reports of the CEO, and I assume there's none. Personnel matters, nope. Anything in new business? Committee report. We are in next hearing of the public. So our next line of business will be, we are going into an executive session. We're going into executive session under A2, which is employment. Is there anything else we need to cover?
Yeah, also, discussion of pending legal matters and to consult with legal counsel.
Okay, we need a roll call. Now, there will be no actions coming out, correct?
Or will there?
Oh,
We have a
maybe there will
resolution.
be.
Yes.
There may be. Okay, very good. So we need a roll call for executive session.
Did we have a,
A motion, we go into.
Motion, support,
Second, sorry.
roll call.
Mr. Williams,
Yes.
Ms. Nazario?
Yes.
Mr. Ballard?
Yes,
Mr. Sturgill, yes.
we'll be back. So we need a motion to come out, guys?
Motion.
Support.
Roll call?
Mrs. Nazario?
Yes.
Mr. Williams?
Yes.
Mr. Ballard?
Yes.
Mr. Sturgill, yes.
So as we know, we've been in our treasurer search, in our interim treasurer search, and we've been in negotiations, and we believe we've identified an interim person. But to give me permission through the board to be able to negotiate with the CEO and the interim person, we're going to need to get this resolution passed so I can have authority after this meeting is over to continue our negotiations. So Mallory, if you could read the resolution for us, please.
Sure, and through the chair to the rest of the board, just by way of information, just to remind you that our proposed preliminary injunction order that this board entered into and was signed off and ordered by Judge Betleski gave us until November the 14th, essentially, to find an interim or even a permanent treasurer, because November the 14th is Joshua Hill's last day of employment with the school district. So based upon that, the board decided that the best thing to do would be to find, that interim, so that interim person would have more than 1 day's notice to go ahead and get prepared for a more permanent type of position. So in light of that, we have prepared a resolution. Attached to the resolution, there is a proposed contract for employment for the interim treasurer who's been selected by the board. Pursuant to the preliminary injunction order, there's a veto, if you will, by the CEO. So the board selects the person, that selection goes to the CEO to be, ratified or rejected in some fashion. So it seems like, President Ballard, if you want to jump in, that this would be an agreeable choice.
Yeah, I think everyone has agreed on the choice. I think the negotiation is the terms that we're working through, and that's part of what we need to continue.
Correct. So we do have a proposed contract that's attached to the resolution. It might not be executed in these exact terms, but whatever is executed between the district, the board, and the interim treasurer will be significantly and substantially similar to what you see here. And this resolution gives Mr. Ballard the authority to do that. We've also attached a copy of the temporary restraining order, which says that the interim treasurer, in completing and executing their duties pursuant to the contract, is subject to the temporary restraining order, which means that that person is to execute their duties without any unlawful interference by the CEO. So that's always going to remain true so long as the restraining order is in place. But for purposes of the record, I will read in to the record a resolution expressing the Lorain City Board of Education's appointment of Tia Kearney to the position of interim treasurer of the Lorain City School District. Whereas pursuant to the agreement of the parties in the matter of City of Lorain Board of Education versus David Hardy, CEO of the Lorain City School District et al., and the Lorain County Court of Common Pleas as set forth in the preliminary injunction order issued by the court, the board and CEO have collaborated on the selection of an interim treasurer and agreed to the appointment of Tia Kearney as interim treasurer of the Lorain City District. And whereas Tia Kearney shall perform her duties as interim treasurer as required by the Ohio Revised Code and subject to the provisions of the temporary restraining order issued by Judge Mark Betleski of the Lorain County Court of Common Pleas. Therefore, based upon the foregoing, it is hereby resolved by the City School District of Lorain and the Board of Education as follows. That the Lorain City School District Board of Education hereby selects Tia Kearney for the position of interim treasurer for the Lorain City School District and authorizes the president of the board to enter into an interim treasurer contract with Ms. Kearney in form and substance essentially similar to the contract document marked Exhibit A and attached hereto and made a part hereof by reference. And that the interim treasurer, Tia Kearney, shall perform the duties and obligations of the office of Lorain City School District interim treasurer as set forth in the Ohio Revised Code and subject to the provisions of the temporary restraining order issued by Judge Mark Betleski of the Lorain County Court of Common Pleas, a copy of which is also attached hereto, marked as Exhibit B, and made a part hereof by reference. Finally, that is found to determine that all formal actions of this board concerning and relating to the passage of this resolution were adopted in this open meeting of the board, and that all deliberations of this board and of any of its committees that resulted in such formal actions were an open meeting and to the public and in compliance with all legal requirements, including Section 121.22 of the Ohio Revised Code. And do we have a motion?
I motion that we accept the resolution as read.
And I second.
Any
Comment?
comment? Any comment? Roll call.
Mr. Williams?
Yes.
Ms. Nazario?
Yes.
Mr. Ballard?
Yes.
Mr. Sturgill, yes.
So then the president will sign that, and then a signature by the secretary.
Pass that over to Bill. And just so we're clear, this gives us permission to finish negotiation with the CEO and to work out the particular terms that are necessary. And he and I have been working throughout the weekend trying to figure out some of those other terms. So I just want you guys to understand there's another step or two that we've got to get through to complete this. So I guess our next item is our next meeting date, right? What is our next meeting date, Eden? November the 11th. I think we're all at OSBA,
It's Veterans Day.
and it's Veterans Day. So what is the next Monday? Guess that would be the 18th or so. The 18th? Is that clear for everybody? November the 18th? November 18th at 5 o'clock, right here?
And then we're just going to continue in order, and then we'll have one the following week as well.
Correct. We'll have 2 back-to-back. All minds are clear?
Yes, sir.
Motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Roll call.
Mr. Williams,
Yes.
Ms. Nazario,
Yes.
Mr. Ballard,
1 second. Did we have a second hearing of the public? I want to make sure. Did we do both? Yes. Meeting is adjourned.
This has been a production of Lorain City Schools TV 20 WLCS.